What is up,
Hey, everybody.
faithful podcasters and friends?
Episode 4
of Laugh Lopez, where we talk about all things life, parenthood, ministry, marriage, and so much more, all while sharing real life experiences with lots of laughs along the way. My name is Jose Lopez, and this is my beautiful wife,
Natalie Lopez.
We are so happy to have you on our podcast with us today. What are we talking about, babe? What are we talking about today?
Well, we've kind of been in like this whole relationship series without saying that we're in a relationship series, but we are still going through like the questions that people have had.
Yeah.
We put up like a thing asking about questions that people had. A lot of it was relationship, dating, marriage, and some other topics along the way that we can't wait to explore. But as we were thinking about like, what do we want to talk about today?
Yeah.
I was kind of like, you know what? Let's freestyle it, which Jose is such a planner. He's kind of like, no. But the guiding question that I
like to have my notes and outline
Yeah, he makes all the notes. I don't look at them and I just like respond and talk. So he's the better of the two when it comes to the podcast.
But we're going to do this.
We're going to do this.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah. And I thought we could go into a little bit of part of our story and also some things that people will say to us when we tell them about like our story. They're like, yo, you guys kind of got married at a young age or whatever. In 2022,
it's considered very young.
It's considered young. Like people are waiting longer to get married, which is awesome. Especially on the East Coast, I feel like we're more career driven.
Yeah.
Which I love being an East Coaster for that reason. But so I was like, you know what? Let's talk about that because sometimes I think people will think like, do you feel shortchanged? Like Jose is my only like serious relationship that I've ever been in. I've talked to different people. I've like dated.
It's been an honor and a privilege.
Yeah, I've dated like, but not like this. Like my most serious relationship has been with Jose. And I kind of want to talk about that.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So we got married July 11th in 2009. That's right. I remembered that without notes. Thank you very much.
As you should.
But we got married July 11th, 2009. We were what, 23?
22, 23.
22,
I think
23.
23-ish.
About
But it was
there.
around that zone.
But, so you were already graduated college.
Yes.
Had just graduated college.
Yep.
I was working as an assistant store manager for Walgreens.
Yes.
Working my way up the retail chain.
Yes. Hated
Okay.
that job.
And then we got married.
Yes.
You were still looking for a job and a career,
Yes.
right? As a teacher.
Yeah, I was doing like long-term subbing.
Long-term subbing.
So this is how different times are compared to now. So during that time, finding a teaching job was extremely difficult. There would be like one opening and maybe like 100 applicants for the job.
Yeah.
Now in 2022, nobody's trying to be a teacher and people are leaving and fleeing the fields. It's insane, actually.
I always say there's 3 professions I will never do.
I love being a teacher, though. So
One of them is a police
No hate.
officer. The other one is a nurse. And the other one's a teacher.
Yeah.
Not because I don't have respect for those positions.
because they get
it's
no
because
love.
I have way too much
Yeah.
respect for them. And they get no love. And
Nope.
I don't think I could ever do it.
Heroes one day and society villainizes them the next.
Oh,
but that's
man. We're
another
not gonna get
podcast.
controversial right now.
That's for another day. A lot to say on that. But it's just crazy like how times have changed. But during that time, I was like long-term subbing and different things like that. And then I ended up getting my full-time teaching job and my full-time teaching career.
So one of the things that we often hear, because we got married at 23 and 22, is you guys got married so young. I could
Which to
never
me is
do
not
that.
Young to me is
Right.
like 18. Because
That
that
is
was
young.
like our parents' style of marriage.
Yeah.
Like our parents, my mom, I think was like 19.
Yeah.
And I feel like your mom was pretty young
I think
too.
my parents got married when they were 18 or 19.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like to me,
I mean, it wasn't good, but
no,
Yeah.
I'm not like promoting. I'm watching One Tree Hill right now. So I would say do not get married in high school. Highly do not recommend that. But I think to me, having graduated college, like I don't see the big deal when people are like, oh my gosh, that's so young.
Yeah.
I'm like, It really doesn't feel young.
What do you think is the reasoning behind people? Because I think also what we want to be careful to do is not promote getting married too young,
And not shame people who are getting married later.
and not shame people who are getting
awesome
married
too.
later. I think what we're trying to address is this misconception about what marriage does to a person.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like this idea of like, well, you should wait till you get married for you to get married, because once you get married, your whole life is over.
Yeah. Like people, I think, can sometimes make it seem like everything ends at that point. But I just thought it would be cool to share our story because for me, it has never felt that way. I wanted to get married. I feel like from the jump, like I'm not saying as soon as I started dating at 16,
But you've always wanted to get
but
married.
I've wanted to get married.
Yeah.
Like that's something where it was
You're
like, yeah, I want to have a family. I
Yeah.
want to get married. Like that's something I didn't equate marriage with success, but it was just something that was like, hey, this is something I would like to do. I
Yeah.
think it would be awesome. And
I mean, people who know you know that. I mean, if you know Natalie, you know she's a hopeless romantic.
yes,
Like,
I'm a dreamer.
I mean, if you're a single person, she's hounding you down. Do you have a boyfriend yet?
Literally.
Do you have a girlfriend yet? How
I have
can
a
I
lot
help
of
you?
available
have-
friends. So
She's always trying to hook people up because
Just-
you're a hopeless romantic. So you've always wanted to get married.
yeah. And I've always also like have been really intentional in what I've wanted in a person too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can be honest in saying like some of my best girlfriends and I, when we were young, we would like write down like what our dream would be and like have those conversations of what that would look like.
Short, stubby, and bearded.
No,
I'm just kidding.
it was funny because I never thought I would marry a Puerto Rican.
Oh,
But that's neither here nor there. But I did.
that
but
hurts. That
now
hurts.
I love you.
I know you love.
But I'm
me.
just saying, like, that's where I was, where it was like just thinking about it. It was something I always wanted to do. And then when we got back together the second time, like when we actually got really serious.
We broke up for the year. We've said it.
When we broke up right before I went into college. It was like that year of like
Yeah.
going into college. And
It was like your freshman or sophomore
yeah,
year.
when we came back together, it was serious. Like I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is my person. Like
Which I think is one of the things, right? Like, what is the purpose of your dating,
yeah.
right? Like, I think that you and I were intentional about the fact that, like, we're not wasting our time. Like,
Yeah. And I
know
think it's
for
okay
me-
though. Like it's okay to like
Yeah.
to date people, to get to know them.
Right.
But I think at that point we had already
we had already
been
done
dating.
that. Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, we had already done that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been dating since we were 16 years old.
took a break.
I mean, we took a break for a year when you went to college. You know, I was already working at Walgreens.
Yeah.
I think I would say I was always like a serious dater, in that like a lot of my relationships, not a lot. It's not like I had a lot of relationships, but they were serious relationships. Like, you know, I wasn't like dating around or sleeping around or anything. It was more like I dated people for a while, and
You had a little phase there where you were
God.
the little high school phase there. But
Oh, I dated you throughout high school.
I know, but I think you were I have some
We will agree to disagree on
I
this
have
one.
some problems.
Guys, this is the reality. We cannot talk about our past relationships.
because
It
I
is
get
still
crazy.
a sore subject.
I get crazy, guys.
Natalie gets
I
fun.
still get crazy.
Natalie gets fun during
I get
these conversations.
I have some prom pictures from your prom to prove that you
Oh man.
like to dance with everybody.
Well, you were invited.
That
You
was
didn't
during our
come,
breakup
so-
season, so we're not gonna talk
Okay,
about
we're
it.
not gonna talk about this on the podcast.
But I think when it was round 2, you know, like for me, it was end game. Like I was like,
Yeah.
this is my person. I love him. There's literally no other person for me, and I want to be with him.
I won.
I think that like literally there was no pressure at all to marry him. I don't even feel like you ever put pressure on me.
Absolutely
I feel
not.
like I wanted to. Like I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
yes,
you flat
yes.
out said to me, when you asked to marry me, I'm not going to be married for like, or engaged for like 5
Wait,
years.
you asked me that. You said when you asked me.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
saying when you told me hey, Jose, when you ask me to marry you, I'm not going to be engaged
Yeah.
for like 5 years.
I was like,
want to get married like right
don't
away.
play with me.
It's going to be a year max, I think you
Yeah.
told me.
And my parents, we were like, they were very involved in our relationship. And they told me, they're like, we have a few requirements for you. Like,
Yeah.
we just want you to honor God in your relationship and honor us in your relationship. And we want you to finish college. And
Yeah.
if you do those things, then you have our blessing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sign me up for those summer classes. Sign me up for those winter classes because I'm
And you
trying
did
to
it all.
graduate in 4 years.
And you know what? I gotta hype you up a little bit.
Okay.
Because you did all that while carrying not one, not two, but sometimes three jobs.
Yeah, I was a hustler back in the day.
So my girl, she's a hot shot.
And
She's
when
a
I
hot
wanted
shot.
something, like it was like, this is something that I want. I want a future with you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to wait. Like, why?
Right.
I don't feel like, and people are like, oh, but don't you feel like you missed out on having that time to yourself? And to that, I would say no. Because being in a relationship with you in like our healthiest phases,
Yeah.
you have always like encouraged and supported me to have time for myself. Like even
Yeah.
in our married years, he has been my number one biggest supporter. I have gone on the girls' trips. I have gone to
Yeah.
Texas, Tennessee. Like I've done those things.
Yeah.
Even having children, he has supported, encouraged, no matter what. Like I could say, hey, in a month, I'd really like to go with some girls to
Yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona. And he would be like, okay, I'll
cool.
figure out something for the kids. Like, no problem.
Yeah.
Go.
I'll man the fort.
Spread your wing,
Spread your wings and fly.
So I never felt like restricted in that way. I
Yeah.
actually felt more enabled and probably more empowered to have
Yeah.
someone be so supportive and so like, girl, do your thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold you back.
Like my question would be, what is it that people feel like they're missing out on?
Yeah.
Like it depends on how you define. Like, don't you feel like you miss when that question is like, don't you feel like you miss out on life? Like, or oh, I've got so much life to live, or like, what is it that you're talking about? What kind of life are we talking about? Right? Like,
Yeah.
you and I were never the party. I mean, before I came to Jesus, probably the party animal.
He was dropping it
but
like it was hot back in the day. He still tries to do it sometimes.
But like as a redeemed
yeah.
Christian believer, right? Like we were never the kind of people who were like partying around
No,
or like
I'm a very boring person. Like I think too, it depends on who you are as
who
a
you are
person.
as a person.
For me, it was like that doesn't interest me now, and it didn't interest me then. And for me, I'm a very like I want to be in my robe. I want to be with a book in hand, with a favorite show going on.
Yeah.
So I think too, like it also depends on who you are as a person.
That's right.
I totally respect, and honestly, like even for Micah and Josiah, I would want them to take the time that they need and to never
Yeah.
feel like they're rushed into something. But I never felt that way. Like I've
Right.
never felt pressure. There was never like, oh, I want to get married because I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to have X, Y, and Z.
Right.
It was just like, you know what? I
Or
love
like
him.
you never felt like you had to marry me to keep you around or whatever.
No.
You
No.
know?
I just loved him. I was like, I love you. You're my best friend. I feel like being married to you would be like having a sleepover with my best friend all the time, which it is, except this man
Except-
doesn't stay up late, which
I'm sorry.
guys know,
Listen,
I'm
I've
just
gotten so much worse as I've gotten
He's so
older, but I'm also working harder.
I know.
People like
he does work.
I work,
And
man.
I don't work in the summer,
I'm
so
tired.
I'm up.
Yesterday we did 3
I know,
services,
we
and then we had a
know.
worship night at night.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm exhausted, man. You know how I'm exhausted. Okay, so I'm sorry that I can't stay up until 2:00 in the morning because some of us have to be responsible, go to work the next
But
day,
listen.
while some of us are off for the entire summer.
So, but doesn't that second wind kick in? Like, I feel like I'm
Not for
tired
me.
on the drive home, but then I get home and that second wind kicks in.
Once the first wind is gone, it's gone
it's
for
gone.
me.
Yeah. But
Anyways, back on topic. Squirrel.
Do you feel like,
No.
tell me your side of it? Because I genuinely don't even know.
So I will.
Tell
Okay.
me.
So first of all, I will say for me, I don't feel like I missed out on life.
Because you got
Because,
married.
well, yeah, because I think that, again, it all depends on the person. What we're not saying is, oh, you shouldn't think certain things about your life or certain goals or
Yeah.
aspirations that you want to have before you get married. We're not saying those things shouldn't be important to you. That's fine. What we're saying is that that's not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
Some of us are cool. Like, I wouldn't say that marrying you at 22 or 23 years old has caused me to miss out on goals and aspirations or anything like that. If anything, I have been able to do and accomplish more with you than I probably would without. You know,
Because I am the wind.
and again, I think
your wings fly.
yeah, no, but like seriously, for us, and this is why I think it's so important that you are extremely intentional about who you spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
Because yes, if you marry the wrong person, and when I say the wrong person, I say that like if you marry somebody that you're not compatible with, that
It's
really
clearly
is,
the wrong
is
person.
clearly not the person to marry. I don't mean like, oh, there's just one soulmate out there for you. I mean genuinely, like if you marry somebody that just ain't it, then yeah, your life is gonna be miserable.
Well, that's kind of depressing.
It's not depressing. If you marry someone, right, like who's not it, who you don't have a good relationship with to begin with, it's toxic, might lead to divorce. That's a miserable life to live. It really is. I'm not trying to be negative, but that's the reality. When you marry someone who you know you're compatible with, who is that person, like you were my person. You were my person. So when I married you, our life hasn't been perfect. That's not what I'm saying. But our life has been a blessing.
Yeah.
We have been able to do so much together. We
Yeah.
have been able to accomplish so much together. You and I laugh together. I mean, a lot of times we will laugh to the point of probably tears. You know, like,
Because I'm really funny.
and we don't
Funnier
like
than he
the same
is.
things, but I don't feel like my life ended when I got married to you. I feel like my life began, like my dream became a reality. That's genuinely
Wow.
how I feel
Aw.
about our marriage. And I
Yeah.
say this all the time, even in our therapy. Like, our marriage, our family is my dream come true. And I would consider myself extremely blessed because I discovered that at 22, when there are people who are probably 42 and 52 who have never been able to experience what I've experienced being married
Yeah.
at 22. I never had the aspirations of like I need to sleep with this amount of people or like travel to this place of the world or have 15 different businesses or whatever the case may be. If that's your thing,
Do it.
awesome, do it. Go right on ahead,
Yeah.
right?
A person does it.
But I just want to debunk this
Yeah.
ideology that when two people get married, that's when life stops
Ends.
becoming enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that just comes from a bad ideology of marriage.
Yeah.
And I think
personal
it genuinely has to
experiences.
do with who you marry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and that's what I love about our relationship is that like we genuinely are supportive of each other in everything. You
Yeah.
know, like if it's a hobby, I mean, there are so many times of the week. Hey, Jose, go ride your bike. Get out of the house. Go do something. You work all day. It's okay for you.
It's
I got
because
the
I like
kids.
seeing him in the tight outfit. Have you ever seen his biking outfit?
I do look good. I do look good in my lycra. I'm not gonna lie. But no, seriously, like we support each other in putting this podcast together. If we have like a business idea or something, you
Yeah.
can like, all right, let's give it a try. Or like, if you want to go travel, I'm like, go
Yeah.
ahead. Like, I mean, I remember when we had the kids, it was like I would go to work all day. I knew you were home with the twin boys. I'd come home and be like, girl, get out of the house. Go do your hair. Go do your nails. Go hang out with some girls or go do something. But
Yeah.
but get out of here. You know what I mean?
And I think it's just also like if you're not married yet and you're in like maybe you're single or like maybe you're not dating yet, I think the importance is also just making sure you are going to marry someone that will support you, that will like give you the wings to fly, that is somebody that believes in your hopes and dreams and wants to dream with you, wants to like champion your dreams and champion like the things that you have in your heart. I think that's really important.
But while also understanding that marriage is
A partnership.
And just like they have to do that for you, you have to do that for them.
Yeah. But I think it's important. But
there's also an element of sacrifice in marriage where you do have to be like, okay, like it's no longer about the me, but it's a we.
Honestly, if you're not ready to die to yourself on the regular, then I would say don't get married yet. Like, because that's literally what marriage is.
Yeah.
I have dreams and I have goals, and so does Jose. You know, and we encourage and we champion each other for those things, but we also talk about them. We also challenge each other. Like, he might want to do something that I think is a terrible idea.
Right.
You know, and so because we are married, it's not like he's going to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to go do this thing anyway. Yeah. And like, you're not going to hold me back. It's something where we're like talking it through. That's an encouragement. Like, if you're still in the season of singleness, or if you're in the season of dating, like, pick well, like, you know, we kind of talked about it last week in our potentials episode, like, but it doesn't have to be a drag. Like, marriage can be really fun. There's so many people that I know that are having fun in marriage. If you are, leave a comment. Like, and if you're not, then like we talked about last week too, like there's always hope. God can redeem anything.
You know what I would love to do? I'd love to see people commenting who are honestly finding like enjoyable life as a married couple. But I'd also love to see in the comments, what is it that you're so afraid of? Or what are the things that like
what are the things that you might have questions about, or that might make you hesitant to go into marriage? There's some real things out there, guys, like family trauma. If you come from a family where you have not seen the best relationship, that is a legitimate like reason why you want to make sure you're not rushing into something, and also that you have the right support going into marriage. I feel like a lot of the things we learned from marriage, we learned from literally
what we didn't see.
Well, for me personally, like there were so many good things that I did see, but there were also things that I wanted to continue to grow in. So I had to go seek that out, because it's like, okay, well, this is like my relationship goal here. Like, I want to make sure that we have really good communication. I want to make sure that certain areas are on point. So I'm going to seek out how to learn about that. For me, it was through a lot of books, guys. I'm not even kidding. Like,
you did read
books.
A lot.
It was series on marriage, like sermons that we would listen to together and learn and grow together. Like, I want to also encourage you, if you're in a season where you are struggling and it feels hopeless, that God can redeem your marriage, that there's nothing impossible for him, and that it's something that you can continue to put before the Lord. Like, we have seen miracles, and our marriage is not perfect either. Like, I never want anyone, I think that's my biggest fear in life. And I'm so glad that we have close friends that will tell you, like, we are not perfect at all. Like, we are continually working on communicating, on our styles of arguing, like all these things. We're actually polar opposites in so many ways, which people don't see, because they see us like, we lead worship together, we attend church together, we do all these things. Like, we are so opposite in so many ways. It's not even funny.
The way that we handle situations, the way we handle arguments,
the way that we handle deal with
relationships with other people. Like, we are so polar opposites on a lot of things.
But I think constantly also being willing to grow and learn and be like, hey, I don't have it together. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I want to wring your neck, but I know that's not what God wants me to do. So I need a better strategy and a better way. But for me, I feel like marriage has personally pushed me to become my best self. Yeah. You know, and I'm not saying you need to be married to become your best self, but for me personally, it has pushed me so far and so hard, like outside of myself. It's taught me to love unconditionally. Because this man, he is a piece of work.
Can be very unlovable.
He could be a piece of work.
Yeah.
But it's my job to love him unconditionally, and vice versa. Like, I can be a piece of work too.
Yeah, you ain't no spring chicken.
I have my own things. But I feel like it's actually pushed me and challenged me. And like, it's been almost like boot camp. What's that called when you do like a boot camp, right? For like war?
It's a like basic training or whatever.
Yeah, like that's how it's felt at sometimes where, but I've become like this better version because I've been challenged and pushed in ways that I don't think anyone has ever done so. And I've also been like lifted up in my lowest moments. Like I've remembered like specific moments that stick out to me in our marriage where I've felt the lowest of lows. Like I've literally felt like so unlovable, like so rejected, because I have a lot of like trauma, like just from different things in my life that I don't always share with people. And like Jose has always made me feel seen, and like God has used him to be a demonstration of God's love for me in the way that he's loved me so well. And that's been awesome.
Oh, are you about to cry?
I'm not going to cry, but I'm remembering like specific moments in our relationship where you said the right thing, like at the right time when I needed to hear it the most. And God used you like to do that.
Yeah.
So
I'm here for you, babe. No, but seriously, I would encourage people, like, if you're that person who's single, who's hesitant towards marriage because of X, Y, Z, you have this goal, these ambitions and stuff like that, great. I would encourage everyone not to get into marriage until you are absolutely ready to do that.
yeah,
100%.
Don't.
You know what I mean? So know yourself.
Yeah.
Work on yourself. Don't look for a spouse. Become that spouse, right? Like the spouse that you want to be and that you need to be for someone else.
Yeah.
Don't just go running around chasing for people.
No.
But also, like, don't allow the experiences that you have encountered
to jade you.
somebody else's experience in marriage that you have observed, that you were raised in, to dictate what marriage is to you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, your marriage is what you will make it.
Yes.
Period.
That's a whole word.
I'm gonna say it again. Your marriage is what you will make it.
It really
Period.
is.
Nobody else will do that.
It's true. It's that saying I saw on Instagram, and it was, the grass isn't greener on the other
The
side.
grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
Your marriage will become what you put into it.
Yeah.
Period.
Both of you.
And that was off the dome, people. That
Both
was
of
off
you.
the dome. You know, but it's both of you. It's two whole people putting everything that they have into their marriage to ensure that it is healthy, thriving, successful, and that is the best marriage that it could be. But your experiences, listen, I did not grow up with the best experiences in a family. That's why, to me, our marriage and our home is my dream come true.
Yeah.
Because it's everything I wanted to see that I never got to see growing up.
Yeah.
You know, I did not have a good example of what it looked like to be a good husband. I did not have a good example of what it looked like to be in a marriage. I did not have a good example of what it looked like to be a father or mother, whatever the case may be. And that's not dishonoring my parents. That is just the truth, right? Like, you know, I'm not trying to shame either of them. They honestly did probably the best that they could, and it just didn't work. But that does not have to be my experience.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just like your parents' marriage, they're still married, you know, they're together.
You
but
get
that
to
doesn't have to
decide.
be your experience.
Yeah. And I think too, like, something to also speak to you guys and encourage you about, like, don't try this in your own strength.
Yeah.
Like, this is, we tell you
is
every
so
week that
good, my love.
the secret sauce is literally Jesus, because it actually is. But don't try it in your own strength. Like, if you just try to go through this checklist of, like, here's all the things I'm going to try to do to make him better, to make myself better, invite the Holy Spirit in to your marriage.
Yeah.
Invite him in on the regular. Like, there's things that I know that I will never change about Jose Lopez. But you know who can change them?
My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And honestly, I will stay up late, like, praying over him, giving it to God, and being like, God, you're in control. Like, I am a control freak, which is why it kills me when I can't just tweak and change and do, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But invite the Holy Spirit into your marriage, because what's impossible is not impossible for God, and God can do it. God has brought so much transformation in our marriage.
Yeah.
When I married Jose, or even when I was, like, dating him, he was just an angry kid. He had a lot of, like, issues
a lot of
growing
anger,
up. A lot of anger issues growing
a lot
up.
Of trauma.
A lot of trauma, which We've
trusted
just
nobody.
recently like
Yeah.
have been unpacking, and like I've been learning my husband now at like
Yeah.
35, you know? But I feel like seeing God transform you over the course of our marriage, I'm amazed at what God has done. And you're still a work in progress.
Yeah.
And I am too. So there's times where that self will try to like spark up, because that's always going to be your struggle, my struggles. My thorn in the flesh is always like fear, depression, whatever the case may be. But when that flares up, these are not things that I feel like we're trying to solve on our own, but we're inviting the Holy Spirit in to say, God, help. We need your help. We need your help. Like, it's hard to love him in my own strength at this moment when he's angry. It's hard for him to love me in my own self when I'm whatever, you know, extra anxious or being like real, whatever the case may be. Naggy. That's my weakness. Take out the trash. Take out the trash. It's Monday night. But that's something too. Like, don't try to do it in your own strength, but don't underestimate what God can do. If you are in a relationship that's struggling, don't quit praying. Don't quit seeking counsel, godly wisdom. Don't quit doing the things that you need to do, or surrendering it to the Holy Spirit. Because we've seen transformation that is still happening on the daily.
I mean, marriage is hard, man. It really is.
It isn't just sunshine and rainbows.
It's not sunshine and rainbows.
I think anyone can attest to that.
And that's what we're not trying to communicate. We're not trying to communicate that marriage is this sunshine, rainbows, and, you know, unicorns and posies.
Every day you come home and
everything is incredible and amazing, and, you know, Bambi's knocking on your door and birds are flying in through your window, and, you know, we're not trying to communicate that. What we are trying to communicate is that marriage is actually a blessing.
Yes.
When you enter into it the right way, at the right time.
Yes.
And with the right person.
And that can be at 23.
And that
it can be at 53.
Or 53. Or 63.
Or never.
Or never.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just meant to be
marriage
celibate,
is not
and you're okay
something
with that
is going to
complete you
or make you better or worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
if anything, marriage is going to amplify
your issues times 1 million. So
100%.
Yeah. So can I ask you though?
Sure. You can ask me.
What would you say
looking
is
like you're looking?
What would you say is your favorite part about being married?
I would say my favorite part of about being married is just having a life partner that is for you, not against you, that will support you and encourage you while also calling you on your crap, correcting you and challenging you, sharpening you.
Do I call you on your crap?
Every single day. And sometimes it gets on my nerves, but nonetheless, it's what I love about you. And so I just love, I can go on. I love that you're my best friend. I love that I can feel safe with you. I love that, honestly, I could tell you anything and everything.
Tell me that.
I love that I can feel safe with you. Do you want me to do
don't. It looks like you're hurting your neck.
Sexy voice?
No,
okay.
Please.
All right, we won't do that right now. But I love that I can feel safe with you. I love that I can trust you with my entire life. You know, my soul, my mind, my thoughts, everything about me.
Your body.
My absolute. Come on, hey, you can have it all. Oh my God, can we keep this G-rated for the public, please? I mean, come on. I know you can't resist yourself, but
bring it back.
Anyways, so yeah, those are all my favorite things about about you.
Do you want to know what my favorite things are?
I would love to know.
I love that there's someone to get the top things off the shelf, take out the trash, and when I'm laying in bed real cozy and comfortable, like at just the right angle, watching my favorite show, but like I'm a little bit hungry, I can be like, babe, can you get me that snack? No, really, those are some really great things about being married.
Those are very true.
And those are very true. What I love about being married to you is just feeling safe. Like feeling like somebody literally knows you, knows all the best and the worst parts of you, and they're still going to love you anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's nothing that could separate your love from me. Like, I feel like you just love me a lot, and it's really good. There's times where I've gone through things in my life where, like, I'm the kind of person that keeps things in. Like, I'm the one that's like, how are you doing? But like, we're not really going to talk about me, but how are you though? And I'm fine and everything's great. That's me. But it's really nice to have someone that I can feel really safe with and I can share, like, and I don't feel like I'm battling things by myself.
Yeah.
Like when I'm going through a season of whatever, it could be like depression or I feel really anxious or extra fearful. Knowing that I have you with me and you're going to encourage me and you're also going to like point me to truth.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. And just having someone that you can laugh with, that's probably one of my favorite things. I feel like we laugh a lot. Like
all the time.
He's ridiculous. I'm really ridiculous. Like if there was a camera for half the things that happen in this house that are just out of control. This man has, okay, I'm not going to put secrets out there.
I don't care. Go ahead. Do it.
He's funny. Jose knows how to dance. And sometimes when he drops it, pops it, he has split his pants many a time during a family Lopez dance party in this house. And it's quite hysterical when it happens because
like to have fun,
baby
man.
got back. But, but I think it's just fun. Like, I feel like society doesn't always do a good job of showing people that marriage can be fun. It's not perfect. Like, it's definitely not perfect, but I feel like it's fun. And there's a lot of married people that I love and respect that I think would agree that when it's done with the right person in the right timing, then it can be something that's honestly just a blessing. And that is just,
I would even say with the right heart.
Yeah.
The right motives.
Yeah.
You know
Don't
what I mean?
try to compete with other people or feel like there's a deadline or a timeline or whatever the case may be. Like,
no.
I never felt that. Like, I was never like, oh, well, X, Y, and Z's getting married. I need to get married before them. Or
We were
like,
just ready.
yeah.
We were just ready. We knew who we were. We knew what we wanted. We knew what we were about. You know what I mean? And we were just
I
ready.
wanted to marry you. And we waited a few years to have kids. We waited 3 years. And then when we went to have
and we
kids.
did our travel thing and vacations and all the fun stuff.
So I feel like we never like missed. I don't feel like I missed anything.
Not at all.
And I'm excited to continue making memories and having some adventures.
I thought you were going to say babies.
Oh, no. No.
My heart almost stopped.
No.
Both of fear, but also excitement.
No.
Fear.
No, that's not. But I'm excited. We are actually getting ready to go to a wedding. Some friends of ours in Chicago who we're super excited about.
Javen and Amadi. Shout out to Javen and Amadi. We love you guys.
We're so excited to be able to have like that time together and time alone. And we have a vacation coming up, family vacation with our besties and with my mom and the whole squad.
Good few weeks.
Yeah. So I feel like there's more memories to come.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do a girls trip.
Go for it.
I don't even know when, but I just feel like I need a girls trip.
Go for it.
And then
have fun.
Maybe you can have a little guys cycling trip. Come
on, Shawnee. You heard it. It's on the podcast. We're going to make it happen.
Pastor Sean, I want to go to the town now and like stay over and I'll cheer you guys on. But yeah, that's kind of just our topic for tonight. We're excited. We have some special guests coming your way during our vacation week. We're going to keep them a surprise. But we got some exciting things planned. And so thanks for listening. Please share your thoughts. Share your story in the comments. Guys, it has been blessing us so much.
To read.
The DMs we're getting, like the comments you guys are leaving, it's amazing and awesome. And so please continue to let us know like what you're walking through. How can we pray for you? How can we encourage you? And what else would you like to hear on our podcast?
And as always, make sure you take a second to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every time we post up new content. Have an awesome night, guys.
Bye, guys.